Ready.
This is Pod With Me. Living a double life. Married to a woman and messes around with guys. That's right, he called the pod and wanted to tell his story. Why does he do it? Does he feel guilty? So many questions. Get ready, because the pod starts now.
I know that there are so many people that doesn't agree with this. You really have to be in the position to understand whatever I do is personal, and whatever they don't know won't hurt them.
Are you ready? Let's go.
Alex, are you ready to pod? Hey, are you all ready? We are ready. Let's get to it.
Ready.
This is Alex J. Aguiar, and you're listening to Pod With Me. I'm here with a very special guest. His name is Pedro Rubio. Well, that's not actually his name. He lives a double life, meaning he has a family and he is bisexual. Hi, Pedro. How are you?
Hi, hello. Oh, well, it's a very good opportunity to say what I feel about this.
You are married, correct?
Yeah,
How many years?
25 years. And I have 3 sons. Very good family. It's my love, it's my life, and it's everything for me. And but I always wanted to have a family. And when I got everything what I wanted, something happened to me and said, well, but I feel something to men as well.
So did you have these tendencies before your family?
Yes, a little bit, but I didn't know that it really was inside me. I discovered it before.
So you had this little feeling, but you kind of ignored it. You said, how many years into the marriage did you start thinking that you wanted to be a little bit curious?
It was in the last 5 years, and when I said, well, I've done everything for my family, for grow up them in a good way. And
So you took care of them, you raised them.
Absolutely. And at the end I said, well, but I want something for me at this moment, and I want to have all the feelings that I know that they are inside me, but I haven't experimented them.
So you felt that after you've done your duty as a father, as a husband, that you think of life, and life is short, and you wanted to experiment a little bit and see what this is, what's going on here. But you never had the intention of breaking up the family, correct?
You are in the right thought. Absolutely. I don't want to trash my life with my family, and it's the first and most important thing that I have. But I wanted to experiment other things and see what really I am. And I've got really a very good status in enjoying myself with men.
Tell us, what was your first experience? Tell us that story.
Oh, it wasn't propitious by me, but someone.
It wasn't intentional.
No, it wasn't at all intentional. But the other person knows that I maybe wanted to have something else.
You mentioned it to that person. Is that a friend of yours?
It was a friend of mine, yeah.
Oh, it was a friend of yours. Okay, so tell us the situation, the scenario. Tell us that experience.
It doesn't happen really saying anything, only with the looking, the movements and the ways as he...
So you felt it, you were flirting with each other.
Right. So it begins really very naturally with touch, feeling bodies.
Where were you when this was going on?
In an open space, in contact with the nature.
So you were in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Did you guys plan to go hiking together, or where were you? Were you with the family? Were you on a road trip?
In a work trip. It was in a work trip.
Oh, it was a
really.
work trip. So the person worked with you. Okay.
Right.
So you guys were on a work trip, and you were out for work, and you had to do something in the wilderness.
And I really discovered in that moment that I have to go on these things, because life, as you said before, it's so short.
So you had to go with your feelings to see what's going on here.
But what I want to clarify is that I wouldn't put over this my family. My family is first of all in all, and what I want in life is not to hurt anybody, and not anybody hurts me as well, and nevertheless my family.
So your main concern was that, so you wanted to keep everything very discreet, correct?
Yeah. I know that there are so many people that are not that doesn't agree with this, but you really have to be in the position to understand what happens, and really it depends on your soul and your feeling, on your happiness, and even in your time of life and age to decide what you have to do.
Correct. I want to get to that point that you're making, which is very important, but I want you to finish our story. Now, back in the office, back before the trip, was there already flirting?
No, really no.
No?
No. We take a walk to the park because we have free time in that moment. And, well, it happens not saying anything between us.
So no words. It was all about the looks, the flirting, and it just drew you in.
That's right. That's right. So that's at the beginning of that moment, I try to, when I feel this, to be very clear with the person and to let them understand what is this. And maybe someone says that it's okay and I understand you, but there are other people that doesn't understand you. And the important thing is that people in the world has to know that humans are very different each other.
So everybody's different. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you have to accept anyone as they are.
Correct. Yeah, but everybody's unfortunately, life will be beautiful if everyone thought like that, but no, not everyone thinks that way. Now,
but it's important that everyone knows that does exist.
Oh, correct. And we're gonna get to that point after you finish the story. Now, you guys it all happened with looks, and it was your first kiss with this guy. What were you thinking at that moment when it was happening?
Enjoying the moment and feeling really the humanity, the man.
Okay, so when it was all over, then you guys fooled around, whatever happened, did you feel guilty? Did you feel weird? Did you feel...
Not at all. No, I didn't feel guilty.
Did you feel worried the guy might say something, or you trusted him?
I trust him because I feel that. So
you felt
that's why I continue the moment, and I didn't stop it. But I didn't feel guilty after that.
At all? Not even when you went back and saw it?
I feel really realized in something that I wanted.
So you fulfilled a feeling that you really wanted for a long time, correct?
Right.
Okay. So when you went back home, when the trip was over, and you saw everybody, did you think of anything? Did you feel anything when you saw your wife?
No, I tried to separate very good the things, and I tried to not to.
You blocked it out.
Not to put a mix on my mind. And
you blocked it out.
Yes.
Okay. So here you are. You're with the family. You block it out. So it's easy for you to block it out, and just move on.
I have to. I have to learn to block it out.
You had to learn.
Yes.
So.
But at the end, I could.
So you had to learn. So you were thinking about how you blocked it out when you saw her, and you blocked it out when you saw her.
Yeah, that's right.
No, you were smooth sailing, huh?
Well.
All right. So I'm not going to bother you anymore with that. So, okay. So after that, it became a routine. You started meeting different guys when you would go, because you travel a lot for work. So it became easy to just, meet guys, and you were careful because there's a lot of diseases, and of course you're married, so you keep it safe, correct?
Yes, but I didn't look for that. Oh, well, I go for a trip for work, and I didn't think let's see what I find in this trip.
So you weren't anxious to see. Now that you opened the can of worms, you weren't thinking of meeting anybody on another trip.
That's right.
Why don't I believe you?
Well, you cannot believe me. You cannot believe me, but it goes like that. You don't have to believe me, but it's what I really feel.
It's what you felt. You didn't feel that you didn't have an urge to do it again.
Right. Right.
Okay. So, of course, it's been years since this happened, and of course, you've met different guys, but no one's ever suspected or anything.
That's right.
What is a message you have to those that don't believe in what you're doing?
That you have to be what you are. You never have to suppress your feelings. So you have to go on and try to live what really is inside you. And I repeat, not hurting anybody. And whatever I do is personal. And whatever they don't know won't hurt them.
So I listen to a lot of sexual therapists and stuff that do believe in open relationships, and very good sex therapist that has a podcast. His name is Dan Savage. So he talks about, he has an open relationship with his partner, and he doesn't believe in monogamy.
Ready.
I don't think people should violate commitments that they've made. I don't think people should make commitments they can't keep. And I don't think people should extract commitments from others under duress that they likely can't keep. And knowing what we know about infidelity, 60% of men, 40% of women in long-term relationships, very long-term, multi-decade relationships, will cheat at some point. That infidelity happens. And sometimes it is the right thing to do. Sometimes it can save a marriage. There's a letter I cite in the book from this guy whose his wife's libido disappeared. They had small children, which probably had something to do with it. Wife's libido completely disappeared. For 4 years, she didn't want to have sex. He was going out of his mind, thinking about a divorce, took a lover on the side, very discreetly, was very, very careful. 4 years later, his wife's libido came back, he and his lover parted ways, and the marriage endured because he was getting it elsewhere. Was that not the lesser of two evils? Rather than divorcing his wife, economically disadvantaging his wife, traumatizing his children, versus having this discreet affair on the side. And I look at that and I say, you know what, the affair was the right thing to do. Divorce would have been the wrong thing to do. Two wrong things maybe, two evils. Divorce was the greater evil. I'm glad you had the affair. We lie to our partners all the time. A relationship is a myth that two people create together, and some lies are involved. And the lies begin on the first date. Because on the first date, you present that best self, that best version of yourself. And you know that person is presenting that best version of themselves. And one of the things that's wonderful about a long-term relationship is you spend the rest of your life trying to live up to the lie you told, trying to be that better person that you misrepresented yourself as to your partner. And it's a bit of a charade. And everybody knows it. Everybody in long-term relationships know it. And there's sometimes you don't tell your partner the truth. You spare them. Prudy, who is an advice columnist I read and admire very much at Slate, will tell people who've had one affair, like you made that mistake. Should you go confess it to your partner? If what you learned doing that was the wrong thing to do, I'm never going to do that again? No, you should shut up and take that to the grave. There are some truths you don't tell to spare your partner's feelings and to allow them to continue to love you the way they want to love you. And then you redouble your efforts to be that person that you convinced them that you were, the kind of person who wouldn't cheat.
Ready.
So what do you have to say about that?
Well, I think it's a correct way, but you should be sure that your partner will understand you. And maybe at this moment, I'm not sure that my partner will understand that.
After all these years.
So maybe no, I'm sure that it will finish in a broken relationship, and I don't want it at all.
But you still love her?
Yeah.
Now, do you think that by you doing this and have been doing this double life thing, do you think that this has brought more action into the bedroom? Has livened things up?
I don't think so, because it's not. I don't do it always all time.
Yeah, but you've been able to unsuppress something in you. So if you were still suppressed, don't you think that would have led to problems into the bedroom?
Maybe yes.
Right.
Maybe yes. Because you are not doing the other side or the other part of your life that you want. Maybe it doesn't let you feel comfortable.
So yeah, by keeping it suppressed, you don't feel you start thinking all these things and you go crazy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what I meant. That's what I meant. So by doing this thing, it's kept your relationship normal.
Yes. Definitely yes.
When you do have these adventures, have you ever felt strong feelings for anybody?
When I feel that, I try to separate or finish that relation.
You're a very good separator.
Well, it's because I love my family and I want to lose anything. It seems that I am really thinking only in me and my family and not in the other person. And it's not like that because I'm really clear from the beginning. So
With the person you're meeting.
I tell the person, if you fall in love with me, please tell me that, because I don't want to get much more of what I can, and I don't want to hurt you.
Has that situation happened?
Fortunately, no.
All right. Well, that's
Really?
good.
Fortunately, no.
So
Because I haven't had I haven't had a lot of experiences. So I'm very selective with to whom I will be or with to whom I can share something else that shouldn't be only sex. It can be other things as well.
Okay. And let me ask you, how do you meet these guys? I mean, when you go out, I mean, I'm sure people at home are thinking about this. How do you meet, if let's say you want to unsuppress a feeling, it comes to you, how do you meet? Let's say Grindr, Adam for Adam, which one you use?
Yes, but you have to be, I have used Grindr, but you have to be very selective on that app because you can find every crazy thing. I don't use very frequently, but fortunately, I have to say that most of the times I have got very good persons on Grindr. So what I want to say is that as I work with persons, I can catch things from their personality, and I know.
Okay, because what? Okay, hold on. So what? So people could understand. What you do is you work with people. Kind of like a psychologist.
Yeah.
Correct. So you could pick up certain traits from people.
That's right.
And then you know who to meet or not to meet with what they tell you.
Yeah. And most of the time I catch the right persons. And if I realize that it's not, I never be unrespectable, but simply I don't continue talking. Because it can be very, very dangerous.
Correct. Yeah, because they might try to expose you or
a very quiet situation.
Yeah.
For example, I don't used to frequent or go to gay places.
So you need Grindr.
Yeah. But anyway, in everywhere you recognize who's gays and they recognize you, and not necessarily when you are in
Well, I
meetings.
hope back at home they don't recognize you.
Well, but when you are in meetings or something that
There's a certain connection, a vibe. Gaydar. It's called Gaydar.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know it was called Gaydar? Radar. So it's called Gaydar. Yeah. Not everybody has Gaydar.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. So
You never can imagine that someone it's gay or like men's and they like.
And you can tell because you have Gaydar.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So hopefully nobody at your house has Gaydar.
Well, yeah.
Do you ever think your wife has suspected anything?
I think yes, but she doesn't. She never told me anything.
She never says anything. No.
No. But I think by sure that yes.
Yeah. You just make sure to be very good in bed, right?
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
All right. So you know there's a lot of people listening that don't agree with what you're doing. What do you have to say to them?
Let everybody be who they want to be. That's the key of life in everything what you do.
But if they think it's wrong, what do you think? What do you have to say to that? Because they feel bad. They feel bad. You don't feel guilty, but other people will feel bad for your wife, and will think, "Oh, poor her, poor this." What do you think about? What do you have to say about that?
I'm sure that there should be people that feels that I'm a bad person and I'm hurting my wife. But I cannot fight with everybody on this. So I let people thinking what they want.
So like you do. You're a good, separator. You block it out.
Yeah, that's right. It's very difficult to block it out because what people are thinking about me. And that is why it's hard to block it out.
And what do you have to say to those people that are living the same lifestyle that you have, or that have suppressed feelings and have not been able to experiment?
That they have to open their feelings, and what do they have to do? It's to learn how to block it out.
I think I'm gonna call this episode "Block It Out."
If she ever found out, time will heal her pain, and I'm sure that she will understand. She will understand in time.
Okay, and
what
how?
happened.
And let's say that happened, and she understood, and she's still with you. How would you feel if she starts experimenting her little suppressed feelings and maybe finds another guy?
It's okay. I will respect that.
Okay, but I meant like stays with you, but does the same
I
thing.
will respect that.
You will,
Yeah.
You will think it's fair.
Yeah. It's absolutely fair. And I want people to know that are going to my situation that you are not alone. Just be safe, careful, and discreet.
Okay, so there's one more thing before we leave.
What?
Don't fall off the pod.
Ready.
Wow. Whether you agree or not agree, I'm sure many of you have plenty to say. If you want to say something about what you just heard, please give us a call at 1-800-706-1067. That's 1-800-706-1067 and leave your message for Pedro. And you can also go on to our social media and comment there.
Ready.
This is our 50th episode. Congratulations for putting up with 50 episodes of Pod With Me. And there's a lot more to come. For more on Pod With Me, you can go to alexjaguiar.com. You can also download the Apple and Google Podcast app and search for Pod With Me. And now you can also search for Pod With Me on google.com. Don't fall off the pod.
Ready.